It's
Monty Python's Flying Circus.
Good evening.
Hello again, and welcome to the show. Tonight, we continue to look at some famous deaths. Tonight, we start with the wonderful death of Genghis Khan, conqueror of India. Take it away, Genghis. Hurrah!
9.1, 9.3, 9.7. That's 28.1 for Genghis Khan.
Bad luck, Genghis. Nice to have you on the show. And now, here are the scores.
Well, there you can see the scores now. St. Stephen in the lead there with his stoning. Then comes King Richard III at Bosworth Field, a grand death that. Then the very lovely John Dark. Then Marat in his bath. Best of friends with Charlotte in the showers afterwards. Then Abe Lincoln of the US of A, a grand little chap that. And at number 6, Genghis Khan. And the back marker, King Edward VII. Back to you, Wolfgang.
Thank you, Eddie. And now time for this week's request death. For Mr. and Mrs. Violet Stebbings of 23 Wolverston Road, Hull, the death of Mr. Bruce Foster of Guildford.
Struth!
Oh, blimey, how time flies. Sadly, the
7-2. And it'll be very interesting to see how he copes with the heavy traffic round Wisborough Green. Vicky.
Oh, well, Picasso will be riding his Viking Super Roadstar with the drop handlebars and the dual thread wheel rims. And with his Wiley Pratt 20-to-1 synchromesh, he should experience difficulties on the sort of road surfaces they just don't get abroad. Mitzi.
And now for the latest report on Picasso's progress, over to Reg Moss on the Guildford bypass.
Well, there's no sign of Picasso at the moment, David, but he should be through here at any moment. However, I do have with me Mr. Ron Geppo, British cycling sprint champion and this year's winner of the Derby Doncaster Rally.
Well, Reg, I think Pablo should be all right, provided he doesn't attempt anything on the monumental scale of some of his earlier paintings, like Guernica or Mademoiselle d'Avignon, or even his later War and Peace murals for the Temple of Peace Chapel at Valerie. Because with this strong headwind, I don't think even Doug Timpson of Manchester Harriers could paint anything on that kind of scale.
Well, thank you, Ron. Well, there still seems to be no sign of Picasso, so I'll hand you back to the studio.
Well, we've just heard that Picasso is approaching the Tolworth roundabout on the A3. So come in, Sam Trench at Tolworth.
Well, something certainly is happening here at Tolworth roundabout, David. I can now see Picasso. He's cycling down very hard towards the roundabout. He's about 75, 50 yards away, and I can now see his painting. It's an abstract. I can see some blue, some purple, some little black oval shapes. I think I can see...
That's not Picasso, that's Kandinsky.
Good Lord, you're right! It's Kandinsky, Wassily Kandinsky! And who's this here with him? It's Braque, George Braque, the cubist, painting a bird in flight over a cornfield and going very fast down the hill towards Kingston. And Pete Mondrian just behind Pete Mondrian, the neoplasticist, then a gap, then the main bench. Here they come, Chagall, Max Ernst, Miro, Doofy, Ben Nicholson, Jackson Pollock, and Bernard Buffet making a break on the outside here. Brancusi's going with him, so Chirico, Ferdinand Leger, Delaunay, De Coody, Kokoschka stopping back here behind a little bit. So's Paul Clay dropping back a bit. And back right at the back of this group, our very own Kurt Schwitters. But
German!
as yet, absolutely no sign of Pablo Picasso. And so, from Tolworth roundabout, back to the studio.
Well, I think I can help you there, Sam. We're getting reports in from the AA that Picasso has fallen off. He's fallen off his bicycle on the B2127 just outside Ewhurst, trying to get a shortcut through to Dorking via Goms Lake and Peashall. Well, Picasso is reported to be unhurt, but the pig has a slight headache. And on that note, we must say good night to you. Picasso has failed in his first bid for international cycling fame. So from all of us here at the It's the Art studio, it's good night. Good night.
Hold it.
Sit up. Sit up. Sit up. Sit up.
the big yoke?
I can only give you a name, Frank. And why did the chicken cross the road?
That's not funny! I want to know the joke!
All right. How do you make a Nazi cross?
I don't know. How do you make a Nazi cross?
Tread on his corn.
God in Himmel! That's not funny! Now, if you don't tell me the yoke, I shall hit you properly.
I can stand physical pain, you know.
Ah, you're no fun. All right, Otto!
Oh, no, no, anything but that, please. All right, I'll tell you.
Quick, Otto, the typewriter!
Ben, ist das Lötstück jetzt und Slottemeier? Ja, bei Hund das Öder, die Flipperwald, Gashput.
That's not funny!
Die Flipperwald gespurt.
Was gibt's? Welches Nötchen bin ich denn nur? Ja, bei Hund, das ist für die Flipperwald gespurt!
Under in the autumn of '44, the Germans were working on a joke of their own. Die ist ein Kinderhunter und zwei Makelluber und der Bitteschön ist ein Wunderhaus Frequency. 9, schreckt der Herren, ist Offenburger mit Zweitingen.
We let you know.
Hitler gave the order, but by December, their joke was ready, and Hitler gave the order for the German V-joke to be broadcast in English.
There were zwei Peanuts walking down the Straße, and one was assaulted. Peanut.
In 1945, peace broke out. It was the end of the joke. Joke warfare was banned at a special session of the Geneva Convention, and in 1950, the last remaining copy of the joke was laid to rest here in the Berkshire countryside, never to be told again.
And here is the final score. Pigs 9, British Bipeds 4. The Pigs go on to meet Vicky Carr in the final.